Everybody wants to get united. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody on 149th Street at the bench.
Philly handstyles, some of the most famous and sought after handstyles in the world. And today I want to take a look at a bunch of them I saw on my way to the airport recently. So, starting off with this right here, which isn't actually a handstyle at all, but it's the first photograph I got on my phone here, so forgive me. But tell me this throwy isn't sick, just look at the spot. I don't care how low to the ground or high up that is, it's never a comfortable spot to be in. You really gain an appreciation, like once you hit a spot like that, you really gain an appreciation for being able to move around, you know, at your leisure. You take that stuff for granted. And once you hit a spot like that, you realize, man, I'm up against this wall, the whole body's up against the wall, you know, you're in this case, you're standing on just those little tiny pieces of metal, and you don't have the ability to move all that much, at least not comfortably. So to get something as clean as he got here, props to him, man. Props to him. That's not something that you get to practice every single day. Certainly not something you can practice in your books. That's something you can only practice with experience. Oh, you know what? I actually forgot about these, but as I'm scrolling through my phone, I ended up seeing it. On our way through the airport, we ended up seeing this mural that they had in the actual airport itself, and I'm just going to show you the entire mural. I'm going to have like a little bit of a slideshow happening here, that way you guys can also enjoy it. But I thought this was pretty cool to see in the actual airport itself. So this isn't in the streets, this isn't in, like, you know, out in a city or anything, but I definitely wanted to show it to you guys, for anybody who doesn't do a lot of traveling, for anybody who may not come to Philadelphia. But something I definitely wanted to show you guys was Will. This is actually somebody I see getting up a lot, and they always have really clean stuff. I love their work. And there's actually a lot of dope people on this wall, so like, by all means, please feel free in order to pause the video and enjoy all their stuff. But Will is somebody I want you guys to keep an eye out for, because we'll be seeing a little bit more of him later in the video. Another one that I also enjoy a lot, that I see up quite a bit, is AK. I absolutely love the way they do their A. It's real simple, but also effective, and you guys know, if you watch the channel for a long time, you understand, I like straight letters. I love that more simplistic style. I like when letters are just nice and clean. And both of these guys have that in common. But while we're at it, check out that Philly hand style there, man. Check that out. Now, you'll have to forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but this is the Pines hand style, the P-Y-N-E-Z. This is the Philly hand style that he has here. And he's got a little character at the end. For anybody who can't read Philly hand styles, here's the letters. Really sick stuff. I mean, that's an absolute mint of a hairstyle, and straight letters from everybody. Love it. Now this one, I don't mean to roast him, but I found this funny because my dudes here, they don't have all that good of a throwy, which that's fine, nothing wrong with that, we all gotta start somewhere, but I found it funny that for his throwy, he actually drew his basic boxes, which, if you know anything about throwies, if you have experience bombing, you're not really sitting there drawing your basic boxes for your throwy. Yes, everything has basic boxes, your hand styles, your throwies, and your pieces, but throwies are more a muscle memory, they're more of a signature, they're more something that you're supposed to throw up. You're not supposed to sit there and actually sketch out the basic boxes of your throwy. If you're doing that, you're taking too long for your throwy. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not meant to rush it either, right? You don't want to go ahead and, you know, try and pretend to be the Flash when doing your stuff, but you also don't want to sit there and take 10 minutes for just the sketch of your throwy. And that's kind of the issue they run into here. They kind of have some letter structures that are more appropriate for a straight letter, and then some letter structures that are more appropriate for a throwy. So for example, you have the Y, which is definite throwy structure, then you have the C and the O, which could be used for more of a straight letter, and then you have the N, which is kind of more of a throwy structure with a little bit too much negative space. Though it could very easily also be a straight letter structure with a little bit more negative space. And that's the weird thing with throwies, is the fact that they do fall in a little bit of a weird gray area where they have just enough structure to suggest the letter that they're trying to be, but they lack enough structure for the sake of utility and for the sake of being able to throw them up. So what happens with a lot of newer graffiti artists is they struggle to find that balance, and oftentimes they lean too far one way or too far the other way, and that's the issue that he's having here. He's still very much trying to find that balance, and he'll find it eventually. He'll do just fine. He won't have any issues. Sorry for the blurry photo, but stuff like this I always find interesting because you can almost tell when somebody got caught in the act, right? Nothing in this black outline is choppy. The spray paint isn't inconsistent. It's not spattering in such a way where you have a line that breaks, which would indicate that they're running out of paint. We don't see any of that here. In fact, we see a nice variety of line work. We see the can going from thick to thin very smoothly, and we see a nice consistent spray. But then it just stops. There's no more outline for the rest of this. Like, they definitely were doing this. A car pulled up, or a cop, and they were like, crap, gotta go, and they bounced. They were out of there. Also, my man Cry here went over somebody else's throwy back there in the blue. But this Cakes, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just going to say Cakes. He's got a really nice throwy there. Absolutely love it. Beautifully done. Lots of experience and overall nice work. This is actually the same wall, but a little bit of a better photograph. And the war straight letter, love it. Good stuff. I mean, everything on this wall for the most part is really good, really well done. Personally, I actually like the PH throwy quite a bit. I don't know what it is. Just like it. I like the P, I like the H, I like the uniformity between the two and the creative way that they created that uniformity with the little swoop that's pretty sharp at the ends. I just like it. Now this photograph was taken from real far away because it was real far out there while we were on the highway. But I wanted to show it to you guys because Gus is another one of those dudes that I see getting up a lot. And I think he deserves the respect. He's got some really cool work, a very unique style that comes off as like very unorthodox. You wouldn't really see a lot of people do it, and it still looks really good. Now here we see Will once again, and this proves that letters like L and simplistic letters that people typically have trouble kind of stylizing, they can be used to great effect. I mean, amateurs would struggle with his name. His name is not easy for most people. Even experienced graffiti artists would struggle with that name, and he pulls it off flawlessly, consistently. But I really wanted to use that as an example to show people that, you know, you don't have to add a lot of style to your stuff in order to have stylistic work. Oftentimes, an experienced graffiti artist can tell you, it's harder to stylize something while keeping it simple. Doing wild styles becomes pretty easy after you reach a certain skill level, and you end up realizing that it's a lot easier to do those than to do simplistic work, much like Will has here. In fact, I'd venture to say, a lot of intermediate graffiti artists who are capable of wild style will struggle to handle Will's name. But he handles it with grace. He does a damn good job with it. And you guys could too if you check out the best How to Do Graffiti playlist right up here in the top. Is that a good segue? I was looking for something in order to segue into the end. But dudes, if you want to make graffiti a lot easier to learn, check out the books we published in the description down below with more graffiti content right down here, and I'll catch you guys back here next week. Thanks for watching.